What do conservative values in America truly represent? To understand this, we must journey back to our nation's beginnings. The Founding Fathers, enlightened thinkers of their time, held beliefs that formed the bedrock of early American conservatism. A key tenet was the importance of limited government. They envisioned a nation where the government's role was to protect rights, not dictate lives. Individual freedom was another cornerstone. The founders believed in the power of the free individual to shape their destiny, not constrained by excessive state intervention. And then, there were traditional social values. The early conservatives held fast to the ideal of a morally rooted society, one guided by timeless principles and values. These beliefs, limited government, individual freedom, and traditional social values, were the pillars that held up the edifice of early conservatism in America. In the beginning, conservative values were deeply tied to the foundations of our nation. But how have they evolved over time? As America grew, so did its conservative values, adapting to the changing times. In the early days, conservatives championed limited government, individual freedom, and traditional social values. But as America evolved, so did conservatism. Let's take a journey through some key moments in this evolution. The civil rights movement in the mid-20th century was a pivotal time for conservatives. Some conservatives, particularly in the South, resisted changes to the status quo, fearing a loss of tradition and social order. Yet others upheld the conservative principle of individual freedom, supporting the movement's goal of equal rights for all citizens. This period highlighted the complexity and diversity within conservatism itself. Then came the Reagan era in the 1980s, a time when conservatism took a decisive turn. Under President Ronald Reagan, conservative economic policy emphasized deregulation, tax cuts, and free market capitalism. This laissez-faire approach was seen as a means to stimulate economic growth and ensure individual prosperity. Reagan's Morning in America was a testament to the belief in the power of individual freedom and initiative. Fast forward to the early 21st century and we see the rise of the Tea Party. This conservative movement was a response to perceived government overreach, particularly in economic policy. The Tea Party championed fiscal conservatism, calling for lower taxes, reduced government spending, and a return to constitutional principles. Throughout these shifts, conservative views on social issues and foreign policy also evolved. On social issues, conservatives have generally sought to preserve traditional values, though the specifics of what this means have varied over time. On foreign policy, conservatives have typically favored a strong national defense and a cautious approach to international alliances. Despite the shifts, the core tenets of conservatism have remained the same. But what does conservatism look like today? This question is more relevant than ever as we continue to see the evolution of conservative values in a rapidly changing world. From its early roots to its modern manifestations, conservatism in America has shown its ability to adapt while holding on to its foundational principles. In today's America, conservatism is as diverse as the nation itself. Just like a vibrant, multifaceted mosaic, modern conservatism in the United States is made up of different strands, each with its own unique hue and pattern. First, let's talk about fiscal conservatives. These individuals champion economic freedom, believing in the power of free markets and limited government intervention. They argue that the invisible hand of the market, when left to its own devices, is the most effective way to distribute resources and stimulate economic growth. Next, we have social conservatives. They place significant emphasis on preserving traditional values and institutions. For them, maintaining the social fabric of society, often rooted in religious beliefs, is paramount. They advocate for family values, morality, and societal norms that they believe have stood the test of time. Then there's another group known as libertarian conservatives. They prioritize individual liberty above all else. They argue for minimal government involvement not just in economic matters, but in personal affairs as well. They believe that each individual should have the freedom to live their life as they see fit, so long as it doesn't infringe upon the rights of others. Despite these differences, there are shared values that bind these strands together. A belief in individual liberty, free markets, and limited government forms the bedrock of conservative thought. Yet within these broad principles, there's ample room for disagreement and debate. This diversity of thought allows conservatism to evolve and adapt to changing societal contexts, while still staying true to its core principles. So just as America is a melting pot of cultures, modern conservatism is a melting pot of ideas. It's a broad church with different factions, each contributing to the rich tapestry of conservative thought. This diversity is a strength, allowing for robust debate and the exchange of ideas. So, conservatism in America is not a monolith, but a spectrum of beliefs united by some key principles. But what does this mean for the future? As we move forward, it's clear that the conversation around conservatism will continue to evolve, much like the nation itself. The future of conservatism in America is as unpredictable as it is promising. As we move forward, we see the potential for significant changes driven by a number of key factors. One such factor is the shifting demographics of our nation. As America grows increasingly diverse, conservatism too must reflect this diversity, integrating a wide range of perspectives and experiences into its framework. This doesn't mean a departure from core values, rather, it's an opportunity to demonstrate how these values resonate across different communities. Technology is another powerful influence shaping the future of conservatism. It has the potential to connect people, spread ideas, and facilitate political engagement on an unprecedented scale. The challenge for conservatism lies in harnessing this potential in a way that respects individual privacy and maintains a healthy discourse. Finally, global issues from climate change to economic inequality pose significant challenges. These are complex problems that require nuanced solutions. Here, conservatism can offer a balanced approach, one that respects both tradition and innovation, individual freedom and collective responsibility. The future of conservatism, therefore, lies not in a rigid adherence to the past, but in a forward-looking vision that respects its core values. It's about preserving what works, adapting to what changes, and always striving for a better future. As we look to the future, one thing is clear. Conservatism in America is a living, breathing ideology, ever-evolving yet grounded in enduring principles. So, what have we learned about conservative values in America? From its humble roots, conservatism has evolved and grown, reflecting the changing needs and desires of the American people. Today's conservatism, while still grounded in traditional principles, is not the same as it was in the past. Looking ahead, conservatism will continue to adapt, flexing and reshaping to meet the demands of a changing world. The journey of conservatism in America is a testament to the enduring appeal of its core values, even as it adapts to meet the challenges of a changing world.